in Across the Fence, we're celebrating the cultures of the world as we gear up for the 25th anniversary of the Vermont International Festival. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. The Vermont International Festival gets underway this Friday and runs through Sunday at the Champlain Valley Exposition in Essex Junction. The festival is an annual celebration of cultures from around the world, bringing foods, crafts, music, and dance to our doorstep. To learn more, I'm joined by two of the organizers, Ben Bergstein and April Warner. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks,
Ben,
Judy.
What can someone expect to find at this festival?
Anything handcrafted, anything homemade, anything produced by people involved in their ethnicity, you'll find it there.
And so when did you get the idea for the festival, and what did you hope to accomplish when you started this?
We first started as importers, and we were working in Eastern Europe and Central Asia. And in the United States at the time, it was very difficult to sell these crafts at the standard craft fairs and festivals because it was considered unfair competition by American crafters. So at that point, we decided that we would try our own show with other people that we knew that were also importing. We've also been performers worldwide with American traditional dance music and song, and so we met and were involved in a lot of people and festivals around the world. So we decided it should be an all-encompassing event. So we have information and crafts and food and dance and music and just everything involved in international cultures.
It's interesting to think about that because, you know, Vermont is traditionally one of the whitest states in the country.
Yeah.
So to think that there's this sort of cultural diversity is important to highlight.
It's very important to highlight, and especially since when we started the festival, it was really true that there were very few people from other countries who had settled in Vermont. Tiny numbers, you know. At our first festival, there were Tibetan people that had recently come to the area, and that group showed up and was very involved in it. And on the second day of the festival, this gentleman came up and said, would it be okay if he sang a song? And he sang a song that he had written that night about how much he felt welcomed and loved for everyone at the festival. And we were just so blown away by that. It was really beautiful.
Have the goals changed in the 25 years since you started this?
I don't really think they've changed so much as been refined. When we hear things like what April was just saying, it reinforces the idea that exposure to culture creates familiarity, which cuts down on people's fear of the unknown. And so by providing different foods, you know, different crafts, different people, and many times they're wearing their traditional outfits, they recognize people as their neighbors. Oh, I work with you in the hospital, or I've seen you at the grocery store, and then they get to realize that the differences are not so different.
And so tell me some of the things that are going to be happening. I know there's going to be performing arts.
Well, you walk in the door and you feel like you have no idea where you are because people come to this room and their kids play soccer in it, and all of a sudden it looks like multicolors, you know, cacophony of sounds and smells and everything. So you walk in the door and you have your choice. You know, if you're hungry, there are 16 food vendors producing traditional homemade foods from different places of the world. If you like entertainment, there are places to sit and watch short shows by mainly people who live here. One of my favorite people is one of my co-workers at the what was the St. Joseph School, the Old North End Community Center. He's the custodian, but he's also the head of the Tibetan Performing Arts Group. And so that's exactly the kind of thing. You know.
And you also mentioned too that there are crafts. What kinds of things can people see?
Oh, well, there's so many things. It's hard to even know where to begin. The craft vendors are a combination of several different kinds of people. First of all, the people that have just their own ethnic heritage has drawn them to a certain culture, and they've gone there and brought things back to sell. Then there's all the people that have moved here, the new Americans who have come recently, who are trying to form micro businesses that they can help people back at home and also help themselves to develop a business here. And then what we've had going this year, which is pretty remarkable, is that we have many people that actually live in their home countries that are coming all the way from there to Burlington, to Essex Junction, actually, to sell their things at this festival. So it's quite amazing. Some of the countries, Madagascar, Kathmandu, Nepal, things like that, which are just, they sound so exotic and interesting, and their things are unique and beautiful, but every kind of craft,
Talk about some of the ways that the public can get involved with the festival.
Well, first of all, the most important thing is you need to come. This is the thing, there's something there for everyone. You will find something interesting there, I guarantee it, But to get more involved beyond that is to be a vendor. Maybe you are a great cook and you cook, your grandma's recipes from Poland. You might want to look at this as a business venture. Then you might want to perform something, and some people don't even realize that they have something to give in the performing area that people would like to watch.
Storytelling.
They may do it in their living room, but they really should share that with the greater
One of the
public.
things that I thought was fascinating last year, because I went, was the fashion show.
Aha.
Yeah, the fashion show is, we're really looking forward to it this year because we're working together with the Vermont Refugee Resettlement Program, and they are bringing both their staff people, some of their interns, and their clients. We're all going to be getting dressed up in the clothing, some of which is their own personal, party best, and other things are things within the collection of the Vermont Performing Arts League that come from all over the world. And so they are really, really excited.
Tell me about the school day, because that's a really popular event. You have school kids coming from basically all over the state. Tell me about that.
Well, it's something, I used to work in the schools as an artist in residence doing cultural activities. And then after I stopped that, I realized, how are people going to actually find out about this thing? So we started marketing this festival to the schools and creating special programming on the Friday morning. It's not listed on any of our calendars because at this point, as of yesterday, we have 1,700 kids coming.
Good luck with that.
Yes.
It's a little scary.
Well, but the kids are very well behaved, they're well prepared, they're well chaperoned, and our vendors love having the kids there. So they do a lot of hands-on stuff. The performances are selected for their age, and the craft vendors have things that are inexpensive enough. And this year we're going to have a sample plate for the kids so that they can try.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Different foods. So this is again towards exposure. Counters that fear of the unknown. I even heard from a teacher the other day from Richford that for them this is probably the only exposure they get to people who are different than themselves, and they look forward to it and they talk about it a lot. And so we're really happy to provide that.
Talk a little bit about the diversity of the countries that are involved in this festival.
Well, I went on our website last night. I was starting to count countries, and I very quickly got up to 50 different nationalities.
Really?
Yeah, and that's from every continent. Well, not from Antarctica, but we have.
We're working on that.
We have Eastern and Western Europe, and Asia, and Africa, South America, and North America.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're really excited about this year is that we have a group of Vermont Abnaki artists that are coming and doing a community booth where they're both going to talk about the Abnaki people here in Vermont, and they're also going to be displaying their craft works, some of which are for sale, and demonstrating the crafts of that native culture. So that is a great addition to the show as far as we're
We
concerned.
also hear that there are going to be some storytellers and singers as well, and so we will insert them in the program when they're on site.
Is there traditionally one or two things that always are most popular that really get people's attention?
Well, I have to say the food.
Yeah, that is the hard part, deciding what to eat.
Yeah, exactly. But people love the fashion show that you already mentioned. And what do you think? Besides, it's the combination of everything together. That's what. That's
Some
what's
people
great
come
about
on certain days because they'll look at the program and they favor a certain kind of performance or performer. The thing is, a lot of these, because the performers groups are local, they're bringing in all their constituents, the parents and the friends of, the people who are doing Highland dance or Irish dance or Tibetan dance, whatever it is. Those people come in to see them. Jay Kulu does their performance, all the people like African, the salsa people. I mean, everybody has their groupies, and it's not only people who do that all year long, because that does happen, but also people who want to see these. They happen to like that particular culture, so they'll check out the website, they'll check out the program, and come during that 2 or 3 or 4 hour section.
Another thing that people get that are really happy about is the fact that once you buy a ticket, you can come back whenever you like. So you come one day and think, oh, I'm just going to go on Friday night. But then you say, oh, well, I might as well come back tomorrow and the next day. And so they're able to, once they get the hang of it, they're able to, kind of let their horizons expand a little bit and do more than what they originally intended.
Happens with the kids too. They'll come in with their teachers and then they'll come back with their families. And they are the instigators, which is very cool.
Yeah. And that's what we love to see, is just that growing by word of mouth and by somebody experiencing it and telling somebody else, oh, you can't miss this is too great,
Yeah.
And that's helped us a lot over the years.
And I think what's interesting too is you get a chance to talk to people.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to people from other countries and come with, I did not know that. So what makes this Vermont Festival International different from other festivals and craft shows that happen year round in Vermont?
That is something that we pay a lot of attention to, because we go to some of those shows intentionally to see what people are doing and how they're presenting things and who's there. Not only in our area, but all over New England and Canada, and we've visited these kinds of events all over the world and participated in them all over the world. What we like about our festival is, I always say this, the concept of Gestalt. It's really a little of everything without emphasizing one particular aspect. So if it's a craft fair, that's what you're going to see, and maybe there'll be 1 or 2 performers and maybe 1 food booth. But culture it's all encompassing, and so what we try to do is exactly that. We try to do a little bit of everything so that people get a feel for the entire culture, not just, it's not a sales thing. It's about presenting the culture.
Yeah.
You see things like this in Canada and Europe, but not so much in the U.S. There's probably a dozen shows like this year-round in the U.S.
Another thing that I consider really important, it's the relationship that we try to create, the feeling that everyone is supporting everybody else. We as organizers are supporting our vendors. We do a special appreciation breakfast for them on Sunday morning before the show. And we want vendors to help each other. We want, that dialogue to take place between people, because they go away with this just a great feing because they've actually connected with others.
Community.
Yeah, it is. It's like our big family has gotten together again,
Well, it's something that you work on year round.
Yes.
Well, and we do have people who come here from all over just for this weekend, which is, they come back and they help and they participate, and it's very cool.
All right, well, as we mentioned, the festival kicks off this weekend. April, how can people find out more information on the scheduling?
Well, everything's on our website, and we have a brand new website this year, so we encourage everybody to go and see it. It's it's really helpful. It has everything about how to get there and the prices and all of that. But
And about the vendors and performers. It's got all background. on
everybody has their little kind of, you click on them and it goes to a great page about them. So, you know, the website is www.vermontinternationalfestival.com. So that's where it all is.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us today to talk about it, and I look forward to spending the weekend with you folks.
Oh, that's great.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.